Check out McCarthy Chevrolet at kccars.com. I recommend the Equinox. I've owned one since 2008. It's got 208,000 miles on it. It's been a great, very dependable car. Thinking about a Camaro. I'm really thinking about trading the old girl in. I really thought about it a lot yesterday. I just don't know what I want. Kirk, I really like to buy a pickup, but that's probably not good for our traveling.
Get another Equinox.
Kirk says, get something that gets good gas mileage, is what he's saying right there.
I can't believe you put 200+ thousand miles on a vehicle. That's
2008
incredible.
with 208,000 miles. So, yeah, it's been a great car. They've got all kinds of great deals on Chevrolets out there. You just check them out at kccars.com, or better yet, go out to Santa Fe and I-35 and check them out. You can get Camaros. You can get an Avalanche. They've got great deals, certified deals on used cars, Silverados. There's not a better time to buy a Silverado than right now, folks. Great savings. I think up to $8,000 on Chevrolets as well. So go out and check them out. Again, McCarthy Chevrolet, kccars.com, or go out to Olathe and I-35 on Rawhide Road. You can't miss them. You see them right there on the side of the highway. More cars than anybody, and you can't beat their deals. $10,000 guarantees that. All right, joining us now on the show is Jerry Hoffman, the promoter and owner of Springfield Raceway. Jerry, how you doing, my friend?
Tell you what, just happy to be here today.
That's good. So how's it down there? You've had to kind of move your schedule around. Mother Nature's kind of dealing you a little bit of a fit with this cool weather that you have. You're going to start a couple of hours earlier than you had planned. Is that still the plan at this point?
Yeah, we moved everything up an hour with the time change. You know, it gets darker earlier. We try to move our events later in the year and earlier in the year around a little bit as the sun's going down. So we're gonna do her at hot laps at 4, race at 5 today.
Okay.
I think they'll open at 2.
Now, is this the first time you've had the sprint cars down there this year, Jerry?
Yeah, it is this year. We had them scheduled twice earlier in the year, in April and August, but then they had some scheduling conflicts and had to cancel on us there, so we had to just move her later in the year, and this will be the first time for the year, so that'll be a pretty good one.
I tell people up here in the Metro and Kansas City area that it's an easy drive down there to your racetrack. I mean, it's 4-lane all the way down there. The way I go anyway, I go 71 to 7, follow 13 down, and pick up 44, and you're just down the road off of 44. Lot of different types of cars there tonight. Obviously, we mentioned the ASCS Warrior and Sooner Region guys there. But also you've got the USRA mods, A mods, B mods. You've got factory stocks. Just tell everybody what they're going to see down there tonight.
You're going to see the sprint cars, of course, the ASCS WW cars, and you're going to see the USRA modified. I think this will be this week or last week. Next week will be their last points. Chance to get points for the USRA National Points. We're sanctioning them and the B mods. Then we got what I call probably the greatest class in the whole area is the Midwest mods. Modified that's really regulated. You can race cheap and have a good time. Then we've got the factory stocks and street stocks. We're just running together. Bring your own rules, and we'll take you to your rules, and that'll be that class. Then we're going to run the pure stocks, and then I've had calls all year from Pro 4 guys and mini stock guys, so I'm going to run them tonight too and just run their classes together. But we'll run the sprint cars early in the show to try to get them people out of there so they can get back home.
Pro 4, that's not a front-wheel drive 4-cylinder car. That's a rear-wheel drive. Am I correct on that or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, that's like a miniature late model with a 4-cylinder motor.
It's kind of like it's kind of like when they had the dash cars at I-70 Speedway. Those cars kind of would have fit down there at this deal because they had, a little more motor and they weren't completely factory, but still, nevertheless, you could tell what kind of cars they were in 4-cylinder cars. That should be pretty good for those guys down there. And the tickets are cheap. You're getting all this action, everything from A mods, B mods, sprint cars, the 4-cylinder cars, and all this for $20. And kids can get in for $5 if they're from the age to 6 to 12, right?
Yes, you're right.
All right.
Jerry, that late model country, I think everybody would agree, down in southern Missouri, down around Springfield, late models have always been so very popular. How have you been able to gauge the interest in sprint car racing down in the Springfield area? There's not a whole lot of sprint car racers out of Springfield.
Well, it's close to Oklahoma, though. It's not too far.
How have the fans at Springfield Raceway been able to be attracted to sprint car racing, and have you seen it grow?
Really, the sprint car deal is something I've always loved growing up. I always loved my dad. He's a big sprint car fan, so it's neat to have a sprint car show in that area at our track. I feel because my dad really enjoys it too. And there's just that fan base from Tulsa. We get some from Tulsa. There's people from Sedalia that call a lot. They come down to watch the sprint cars, and then you got them people that just they're not really probably race fans, but man, when you mention sprint cars, they know they're going to have them big old wings, them big old tires, and they're going to go real fast and be real noisy. So they like to come watch that.
Yeah, even if they don't know anything about sprint cars, they just know that they're fast and they're on that little track with all that banking you have down there. They're going to see some really fast action.
Yeah, the sprint car deal brings in a whole different group of people. I mean, it's just the people that, like you say, you get the sprint car fans, and you get those people that aren't really the fans of racing, but they just see them cars going fast and they're noisy. They like to come out and have a cold Budweiser tonight and watch that race.
Yeah.
I always wanted to ask, you're very good at track prep. I've seen your work down there, very knowledgeable. What is the key to success of a very good dirt racetrack consistently on a week-to-week basis?
Well, my problem is I'm a racer, and I've raced, my whole life. I'm 40 years old now, and I've been going since I was a kid. I always run my mouth when I didn't own a racetrack, and I said, if I ever own one, it's going to be racy as I can make it.
Right.
When a guy runs his mouth like that, you kind of got to try to back it up the best you can.
Right.
And me being a racer, if I'm watching the top get burned up, and there's nothing, I have a cushion around my track every night. I try to leave just a little bit of a hump there, because our track don't really build a big cushion because of the way the clay is.
Right.
And I got to have a cushion up there at the end of the night, because most tracks, at the end of the night, your cushion's burned up, and everybody back down on the bottom, just having to choo-choo, one lane.
Single-file rubber down then at that point,
yeah. And it does happen at times. I mean, I'm not saying it don't. But me being a racer, I think, racing as I grew up and stuff like that, I can see which groove needs to be a little faster, and I can go out to intermission and put a little water around the top or spray a little water around the bottom, and then make it where you have them two grooves most of the time.
Yeah. Got to have the equipment. That's the most important thing, really. A lot of people don't have the right equipment to prep their track, Yeah,
and we don't have the right equipment to prep ours, really. I mean, if a person come up here and help me in the day or at the nighttime, you just don't know what's going to start. You don't know what's going to break down. So look at what some of these tracks have for equipment. I mean, there's some in this area that's got equipment that you could do a lot with, and sometimes you wonder what happens at the end of the night with all that equipment sitting there.
Yeah, how come they're not using it right? Exactly.
Yeah, and they got the people to use it. When you see me down there, it's usually me getting the road grader stage in the infield, getting the water truck running, and hoping that the water truck will be running when I get back out of the road grader. I had that help and all that equipment. I mean, you got to have a racetrack every night.
On a weekly basis, how many hours do you spend just preparing the dirt track every week?
Depending on the weather. That's the biggest key to what's going on. You got to look at the weather and see. Like this week here, I went up there Wednesday, and I had a guy water it for me Tuesday night. Take about 2 to 3 loads of water to get enough water on it to be able to grade it because it's so hard. And it was the right amount of water when I got up there Wednesday morning. It was still pretty hard. Still could use a little bit more maybe, but I got her graded. So I was probably 3.5 hours up there grading it Wednesday. And then it rained Thursday morning just a little bit, and I didn't go back up there, but I got a guy that helps me sometimes around there, and I had him go ahead and roll it in just so we could hold more water, so the water wouldn't really go down in the track, kind of sealed it off a little bit. So right now I've probably got 5 hours in the track, and then I just can't get up there really right now because it's kind of wet, and then I'll have all day today.
Yeah.
Once I get up there, I'll probably have to get on it with the sheaves. So probably I'd say 8 hours a week before you race, 8 to 9 hours before you race. And
sounds about
ready.
right. Yeah. Is this your last race?
Depends on the weather. If it rains a lot, then you just change what you have to do.
Right. Is this your final race of the year, Jerry?
No, I'm one of them guys that isn't real smart. We're going to race the plum up till Thanksgiving.
Well,
it gets hard now, and people don't realize when you go to racing after Labor Day.
Yeah.
You got so many specials going on.
Right.
And you got that weather. So I'm one of them guys that's always took the other road going somewhere. Well, and I got 4 races left after this one here.
All right. And if they need any information about those races, they can go to SpringfieldRaceway.com. That's SpringfieldRaceway.com. Again, the pit gates will open now at 2 p.m. Hot laps will start at 4 p.m. and racing at 5 p.m. You got plenty of time if you're up here in the Kansas City area or within the listening audience of Sports Radio 810. I recommend going down there. It should be a great show. Jerry, thanks so much for being on with us, and good luck tonight.
Thank you guys for having us on here.
All right.
Thank you.
Jerry Hoffman, the promoter-owner of Springfield Raceway, and the guy's a little full of enthusiasm, isn't he?
Hey, don't forget about that. Thanksgiving, they've got kind of a tradition going down there.
Oh, that's right.
They didn't have the show last year because the weather postponed it till the spring.
Originally, that was an open-wheel show, but they've kind of made it more of a stock car show now, haven't
Right.
they? Yeah.
So that's become a popular event whenever the weather cooperates over Thanksgiving.
Little news flash, too. If you're into the go-karts, Thunder Lake Speedway has the 8th annual Boogeyman. Hot laps get underway at 10:30 this morning, so right after we go off the air here on Sports Radio 810 and RacinBoys.com, hot laps will get underway. They're going to have heat races and qualifying starting at 12 p.m. General admission, only $5. And if you're 5 years and younger, you are free. They said 5 years and younger. Well, that's because everybody, if you open it up for kids under 12, everybody would get in free because it's mostly kids. But again, annual event down there at Thunder Lake, John O'Neill's 8th annual Boogeyman. It again starts heat races and qualifying at 12 p.m. Hot laps get underway at 10:30. Drove by there last night, Kirk, on my way to Lakeside Speedway. A lot of people already there, camping out, getting their cars prepared, settling in for this weekend's activity.
Now, a couple of other local racing notes. The Show Me Spectacular that was scheduled for I-35 Speedway tonight has been postponed 1 week. It'll be next Saturday night, October 13th. They will be racing at Valley Speedway tonight. Their Fast Fall Series, non-wing sprint cars, USRA modifieds, and all the stock car classes. I think they've added the micro sprints for tonight's program as well, so check that out tonight.
They have done that, and that's good to see them back out there at Valley Speed. You going out there tonight?
Planning on it.
Planning on
Yes.
it. Yeah, it's my plans, too, to get out to Valley Speedway. You know, it's not many weekends where I get to stay home and watch some racing. Even though it's cold, I think I'll go.
And congratulations to Darren Fuqua. Won again last night at Lakeside. We'll get into more of that
we'll talk
in the
about
second
that
hour.
hour number 2. But, it was a good night out at Lakeside Speedway. I love the track conditions we had last night out there. Slick top to bottom. Had a top and a bottom. A little slick in the middle. Some guys could make the middle work. And Aaron Morant, we'll get into it a little bit, had a healthy lead, only to spin himself out trying to get around a lap car, hit the Uke tire down on the inside. Looked like he knocked down his left front tire, and that caused him to have to pull off. So we'll get into all of that. There was a lot of things that went on out there last night. The hardcore fans were out last night. I'm going to tell you right now, because it was cold. And attendance was way down, but there was some loyal fans that were out there watching the action last night.
The hardcore race fans were out there.
Yeah. Sweet.
Hey, big news from NASCAR. Stewart Haas Racing, big week on the sponsorship front. Quicken Loans signing on with Ryan Newman earlier in the week. And then yesterday, Bass Pro Shops and Johnny Morris announcing that they'll be the primary sponsor on Tony Stewart's number 14 car next year. How about that? That makes sense.
Did you not see that one coming a mile away?
Yeah.
Huh?
Because Bass Pro Shop's been on Tony's World Outlaws cars for years.
I think Bass Pro's still going to do some kind of associate deal with Jamie McMurray, but I never felt like that was a good fit for Jamie McMurray. In fact, when I'd watched the commercials,
1 minute.
I had never looked at that commercial and looked at Jamie McMurray like he was some outdoorsman. Have you?
Yeah, it didn't quite fit, did it?
Martin Truex, that guy would fit over there. Tony Stewart, yeah, that guy. Ryan Newman, yeah, those guys that you know that go out and hunt, yeah. They would fit. Tony Stewart, though, it's good to hear that, man, after losing Home Depot. No,
Office Depot.
I always get him back.